me, I get less of the weight of that, coming on just to as a vessel, to get the message, you know what I'm saying, to the audience and play the characters as best I can. I love the supernatural elements. There's a lot of movies that I watch. It's like sci-fi, fantasy, things of that nature, anime, comic books. That's the world that I live in. So that was a lot of fun for me. I think the bit of the horror bit was a little challenging for me at times, but also surprisingly very funny and light. It's so crazy. It's the juxtaposition of the two. It was an experience I'll never forget.
I love it. I love this movie. I love making it. A lot of things that I had never done before, but it felt like a rite of passage for me. All of my favorite filmmakers had made at least one film that had horror elements in it. So I was excited, man, the whole time, and loved the makeup. I've got to make quite a few movies, and they had makeup elements in them. Like your Black Panther, you have to do a scarification on Mike and the lip plate and things like that. I'm so fascinated with that, and it was such a great opportunity on this one to get into like the horror makeup, like the gore stuff and stuff I see in Fangoria. You know what I mean? So that was a source of real excitement for me, but also it came with a whole other set of challenges. I got to find out something about him that I didn't know. You want to talk about that?
I hated the blood. That's probably the one thing about this movie. I love this movie. I love making this movie. That was the one part that I could have done without.
What was so great was my producer on this, my wife was one of the producers on this, Zenzi. She pulled me to the side. We had like a side meeting where she was like, I gotta tell you this, Mike hates the blood. And she's like, yeah, he doesn't like the feeling of it. He doesn't like it being on him. We gotta figure something out.
In a movie like this, it ain't nothing to figure out.
Well, you seen the movie, bro. Like
there's nothing I can do about it. You know what I'm saying? So,
no.
And it's cool for the one time, but it's like
20 days.
20 days, shooting it. But it was. I got over it. It was cool.
And then I got 7 pages of the scene between Annie and Smoke, and I was completely overwhelmed by how much history, how much love, how much grief, how much understanding was in these 7 pages. I learned so much about them without being hit over the head with exposition. I cared about them. And that was before I read the script. I was already in. From 7 pages, I was in. I need to be a part of this. Please let me be a part of this.
I'm with Wumi. First it was Ryan, then Ryan and Michael. Spoken to Ryan before I got to read the script. So I was almost given the most perfect synopsis you could get. And he painted the picture so vividly during this conversation that those 7 pages had, I was set up to just fall in love with this, the way that he had brought it to life in our conversation. But reading the role of Mary and learning and understanding her part in this story was so captivating. And this is a character who is so vulnerable, yet so fiercely confident, and has sort of no other option to be any other way in order to move through the world. I loved how she was written and how she plays a part in this big old story.
When I first got the script, I only got maybe a few pages. It just described this kid with, such a passion for music and blues. And, instantly, it clicked for me this is something that I really have to do. Just to be a part of that culture and, the time back then, it was just such an interesting story. So I was like, yeah, this. And then Ryan, and to find out he's directing it, I was like, yeah, I gotta do this. I gotta do this.
I knew it as just the music my uncle listened to. I didn't think about it beyond that for most of my life. After he passed away, I started to use it as a tool to kind of access him. If I wanted to think about him, if I wanted to be reminded of him, I'll put the music on. And that is a little bit of how we got into the music as this kind of transportative, supernatural device in the movie, and it'll forever be like right here to my heart after making this movie, man. I think about the songs every day. We named characters after blues songs, and I've never felt about a movie like I felt about this one.
I think I got a real education on blues through this movie. We listened to get into character, the musicians that shaped the music that we listen to today. The kind of a lot of the origin of the music that we love today comes from blues as well. So for me on this movie, I got a chance to learn all about that firsthand.
I feel like Annie is in my bones. I can't shake her. I feel like I felt so much more connected to Nigeria, where I was born but not raised. I learned so much through Annie, through Hoodoo. I've been doing Yoruba lessons for 5 years, and for some reason in the last 6 months, it has finally stuck. I think that's her. I think I can now have a whole conversation with my Yoruba teacher, and 6 months ago I couldn't. She's in my bones, I don't know.
I would say a huge sense of family and community. I have never felt so deeply connected and supported by a cast and a crew before. There was a funny situation the day that I wrapped. It's for another day, that story, but I think I'd mentioned in that moment of just feeling so emotional that it had come to an end.
Yeah.
And really it was just the beginning, right? Of like, if we weren't family before, we're family now.
Yeah.
And I think that's also so hugely what this movie represents. I also think the music will always stay with me.
Yeah. I would say I definitely left with a deeper connection to my culture. You know, just getting to experience, you know, all the things that kind of we went through during that time. And then also I got a even stronger love for the blues. You know, really dive into what that looks like and all the different artists that, you know, came before me.